Good morning, guys, and first of all, I hope you all had a happy Thanksgiving. And what we're going to do today is jump right into this air compressor. I've got all the old fittings stripped off of it, and I've got the pump on the ground here ready to go. This is the electric motor, but I've got a box of new stuff from Home Depot supplier for these air compressors. Let's see, what do I got here? Here's the new regulator. I got new lines, new pressure gauge. I got new fittings for the airline, but I see that unfortunately, let's see here. Unfortunately, I have, I believe, the wrong size fitting or the wrong size couplers for the line. I'm not 100% positive, but I think I may be okay. We'll find out here though. But yeah, I think I got the wrong size couplers for the end of this line. But as you can see, I got a new hose reel, 75 feet of hose, so we'll get that mounted up as well. But I'm just going to kind of get situated here and start putting on the new fittings. I'm not really going to record any of that because, well, it's pretty self-explanatory. You know, I got a new, let's see, this is a new check valve, so that'll go on the top of the tank, and then there's a pressure return line that goes into the check valve. This output will go into the top of the tank here for the regulator, and then my line will come off here with a shut-off valve. So I'll get all this stuff put together and kind of go through it with you guys after it's assembled. Alright, stay tuned. Alright guys, we got the regulator mounted, we got our gauge, pop-off valve, we got our lines. I had to run to Home Depot to get a different fitting for this. I needed a 1/2 inch to 3/8 adapter for this, for the pump output, and then I had to kind of reform the lines a little bit because they were just a little off, but everything fits good now. So I've got that mounted. The pump is tight, mounted to the compressor. I've got my 3/8 automotive fitting just to allow more airflow. And I've got my reel on a quick disconnect. I didn't want to thread it directly in here because when I move and stuff, if I have to quickly take everything apart, I can just, you know, disconnect it all. And then I've got my shut-off valve. Got all my fittings on my line. I've also put new fittings on the old line that I have. So I'll have a total of, this is a 75-foot reel, and I think this is probably 25. I'm not sure. It might even be 50. So I've got quite a bit of line, plenty of line for this garage. But I'm gonna get the motor on top of here and then work on wiring up the regulator, and we'll go from there. Alright guys, we've got everything connected and wired up. Got the belt tight, so let's go ahead and give it a test run here, see what happens. I'll turn the valve off just in case. see what we get up to for pressure here. And then I'm gonna, in the meantime, drain at the bottom is leaking. I'll have to tighten that up. There's a drain underneath the tank, so I'll have to tighten that up. Give me 1 minute here. Okay guys, but let's see here. Gonna have to go get a new tank drain, and I'll probably just get the extended drain with the quick valve on it to drain the tank, but the one that's in there seems to be leaking, so I must have done something to it while I was trying to drain the tank. I don't know if I screwed something up on the little valve down there, but the tank pressure's up fine. Right now it only gets up to about 50 because of that tank drain, but I'm thinking once I get a new drain on it, I'll pressure it up all the way, see where it kicks off, and then underneath this cover, you remove this Phillips screw. Underneath this cover there's a small Phillips screw that adjusts the kick on and kick off pressure of the regulator. I've read online that a lot of these will kick on at 125 psi and kick off at 145. Well, that only leaves you 20 psi. So this tank is rated for 155 psi. So I'm going to crank it up a little bit so it maxes out at 155, and that'll at least give me a little bit more cushion as far as where the tank or the regulator kicks on to build up more pressure. You know, 10 psi doesn't seem like much, but it'll help keep the pump from running too much. So that's what I'll do, but we're all back together. So I've got all my air lines and coupling, and I switched out all the fittings on my air tools here. These are a 3/8 fitting, automotive style, instead of your standard 1/4 inch. These are pretty standard, but I was reading online also that for a lot of your larger air tools, like air impacts and DA sanders and things like that, if you put a 3/8 fitting on there, you get more volume through there, which will cause your compressor to probably kick on a little bit more, but your tools will operate better. So correct me if I'm wrong on that. That's just what I've read online, and you know what they say, you can believe everything you read online. So, but that's what I did there. So now I just gotta stock up on air tools. So could probably get a DA sander, dual action sander, and an air chisel set with the air hammer, and probably a 3/8 drive impact. I've got air ratchets, so I don't need those, but just a few things, you know. So I'll get them slowly but surely. So anyways, appreciate you guys watching and staying tuned, and thanks for wrenching with me as always, and I hope you had a happy Thanksgiving, and I hope everybody made it through safely and without gaining too much weight. So we'll talk to everybody later. All right.